Hi, I'm Shane with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the K2 lights for your K2 snowplow. The kit's going to come with two lights. They're going to be dual bulbs, high beam and low beam, and turn signals. It's also going to come with the brackets. Keep in mind you can buy the lights separate if you already have the brackets. These are halogen bulbs. They're going to have glass lenses, which makes it nice because you don't have to worry about them fading over time like some of the plastic lenses out there. It's going to have a durable plastic casing on it, so it's really going to protect the inside of the light very well. Adding this light kit onto your snowplow is really going to help out in those low visible situations. You get a bad snowstorm and maybe your headlights just aren't seeing enough. These are going to allow you to see more down in front of the snowplow. And if for some reason our snowplow, when we lift it up, a lot of times what it does is it's going to cover our factory lights on our vehicle. I'll go ahead and raise it up and I'll show you. As you can see here, it's covering our lights, but our new lights that we just put on are going to give us plenty of visibility out in front. With these having the high beams, low beams, and turn signals, it's really going to help make us much safer as well as other people on the road so that they know what we're doing. Each light is going to be on a ball and socket, so it allows you to adjust the light depending on what you're wanting to see in front of you. We come to our wiring. Each light is going to come with its own wiring harness. Where it plugs in is going to have a rubber ring on it to really help protect, to keep any of the snow and moisture from getting in on the plug. Another nice thing about it is the wire is going to come with wire loom on it to give it that added protection. The brackets are going to be a steel construction. You can see they're very nice and thick. Black powder coat finish, so they're going to match the framing on the plow very well. And they're really going to hold up well during those winter conditions. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's go ahead and walk you through how we got it installed. As far as the installation, it's just a matter of mounting your brackets onto your plow. The bracket kit is going to come with 2 hex bolts. The plow itself is going to have 2 pre-drilled holes to mount the bracket on. If we come up here to the top, we're going to have a second bracket, hex bolt to hold it in place, and this is going to be the bracket that you mount your light on. Once you get your lights mounted on your brackets, then the next thing we need to do is the wiring. Each light is going to have 4 wires: green, red, black, and white. Green is going to be your turn signal, red is going to be your high beam, black is going to be your ground, white is going to be your low beam. What I did is I actually used a 5-pole plug, which you can find here at etrailer.com, and I spliced the 5 wires into the opposing wires onto each light, ran it up. I have another 5-pole plug that I connected to the wires, to the factory wires behind my tail lights. One thing I will say is with newer vehicles that have one light that do multiple things, I would suggest using relays. So that way when you turn your high and low beams on, the wiring doesn't affect the way they work. I would suggest getting 2 of them, 1 for your low beams and 1 for your high beams. Now just to kind of reiterate, the wiring coming from our lights on our plow are going to run through the relay, from the relay to the wiring going into the back of the light. The only time you're going to need a relay is if you have a dual function light. So like on our Jeep, we have one bulb that does 2 functions, a high beam and a low beam. You need the relays to separate those 2. If you have a truck that has a high and low beam that are separate bulbs, you should be able to run those wires directly into the factory wires behind each light. One last note, if you're using relays, you're going to have a wire coming off each one that has to go to the positive side of the battery. You can splice them together here. You can see I use the heat shrink butt connector to help protect the connection. And on the other end, you're going to have a fuse holder with a fuse. You can find that here at etrailer.com. The reason I went with the 5-pole plug is that the plow's not going to be on the vehicle all year round, so this is going to make it very easy to disconnect the wiring when we're not using the plow. So now that we have everything working, or everything connected together, we'll go ahead and connect our 2 plugs and test out our lights. Low beams, left turn, right turn, high beams, left turn, right turn. Now that we've made sure everything's working, we can go ahead and get our wiring cleaned up and get our vehicle put back together.